Peace and love, family, peace and love, and welcome back to another video with my favorite person, Auntie Juba.
Hi everyone.
In today's episode, in today's video, we're going to be covering a very controversial topic. And honestly, it's one of those conversations that needs to be had, and it was absolutely necessary for me to have this conversation offline with Auntie Juba because I'm raising two girls. So today's topic is all about raising your children without the screen, right? So I'm super guilty at giving Phoenix the screen, especially if I'm trying to get something accomplished.
Right.
It's like, all right, Phoenix, watch dinosaurs right now while I work.
Right.
So it's something that I do. I don't do it no more. Well, I don't do it as much as I used to anymore.
Right.
But it was almost like that's her
That was the
pacifier.
solution.
Yeah, that's the solution. That's her
Right.
pacifier.
Right.
And so I don't know if any of you watching have children and you give your children screen time when you're in the car or when you're at the airport or when you're trying to get stuff done. But actually, that's like not the solution.
Not at all.
And like
Not
you
at
were
all.
explaining to me, like the screen, how it
Well,
affects.
yes. Well, we all know from studies all around that screens, even for adults, there are many warnings out there where you should not look at the screen the way we do, just because there's so many problems associated with it. Some of those articles talk about blindness or getting glasses too soon.
Wow.
Some of them, they're just many different things that are associated with screens. So with that said, when I think about screens, I think about how we are too, like on the computer all day, and how even some of us have screen protectors. So, when a child wants screen time, I always think, well, I could always do it during the time that they are napping. So this way you give them your undivided attention, and finish everything. And then instead of trying to do something when maybe they're awake, this way if you're finished, that goes back to having a routine. So if you have a routine and they take a morning nap, maybe between 10 and 12, so you have that window. And when they go to sleep, I always suggest books. Anytime you could actually have depending on the age of the child, instead of giving them a screen, if they already been reading books all along, they could honestly get all their favorite books and you could sit them down and they will give the same attention that they give to the screen to the books.
And this is true.
Because it's just capturing their imagination. See, but the whole thing about it is when you read a book, it's not just the things that you see. There is a lot going on in that book. So to bring out the colors, the shape, and some of the things that are kind of hidden in the corner, that's what you think about what the illustrator was doing when they put the book together. So have them see the little details. So this way, when they look at the book, they always remember, where is that deep? It's almost like a big mystery puzzle in front of them. So they could look at the book that is normally maybe 10 pages. They could take like 30 because of the way you read or you presented the book to them. So, so absolutely. We didn't have screens growing up, right? So because we did not have screens, we had a different experience where we could go outside, and also our parents were not working from inside the home. But now that it is that way and things have changed a little bit, always again it goes back to what is your child interested in, and if it's you need to get something done, but it's like between a certain time, then make sure that they're down. That way, if they're asleep or taking a nap, then you could do it absolutely with no interruptions. And even try to schedule your meetings or phone calls purposely during their naps or their outing time. And that way you don't have to juggle when they're here. And then, you know, it's almost like a doctor's appointment. You don't want to schedule a doctor's or dental appointment during their nap time because that's going to be a whole disaster. You're going to have just such a challenging experience. So I would say always think about their downtime or their outing time, and those are the best. That's the best way to avoid giving a distraction as the screen.
Yeah, and something that I've learned from you since you've been with us, since I've been able to like have you here with our family, is like there's another way. Like I don't have to. So we've definitely decreased the amount of screen time, and some days we've gone like 4 and 5 days without screens at all. Like And I actually read something, and it was saying that children in this children in the not my generation, but the children that we're having are going to have abandonment issues, and it's not because the parent wasn't home, it's because the parent was home but wasn't present because the mom is always on her phone. And I thought that was interesting because I was like, dang, abandonment issues, like that's deep.
It is.
But they did a study, and it was showing the difference between a child walking into the house and the mother is like, hey, versus a child walking into the house and the parents on the phone. So from that post, it opened up my eyes even more too. But there are a lot of psychological effects of the screen for the child in early childhood development, and then like for parents. And so I love how you, even with your own family, so her, I'm always asking Auntie Juba for advice, and like I'm always asking, you know, how she raised her children, because she has like perfect children.
Oh my gosh, not perfect.
They're amazing. Her children are incredible and amazing, and I always am asking Auntie Juba, which by the way, she has a community. It's called Ask Aunt Juba.
That's right.
And it's a community to share space with other parents like myself, but most importantly for us to get guidance from a seasoned woman who is passionate about, passionate from that holistic approach from a mother's pregnancy to raising a child. So the community is Ask Aunt Juba, and it's a monthly subscription. It's a community that you can be a part of every month. You can cancel at any time, but it's beneficial even for me because I have questions.
I hope so. Give me some questions.
So I always ask her about her parent, like, how did you raise your children? One of the things I really wanted to know recently is like, how did you have a schedule? You have 4 kids. Like, how did you manage to raise 4 children? But the point I was about to make is, one day you told me that your oldest son did not watch TV until 5.
Until he was 5, yes.
She didn't introduce her oldest son did not watch TV until he was 5 years old.
And even when he did, I actually sat there. The rule was, we can't just put him in front of the TV and just let him watch, because when you think about it, these cartoons are written by adults, and they have a lot of adult content in those cartoons. So a cartoon is not just a cartoon. And we actually, a while back, like about a summer or 2 back, now my adult children say, Mom, when we look at these cartoons right now that they were telling me, I think as they were growing up, they said cartoons were kind of okay, but around, I want to say they say about 2010, they just really started going really, really off. So, and they were teenagers at that point, but I thought that is interesting. So to just bring it all in, when we had the 5-year-old, because there was a time where all 4 of them were 5 and younger. And so the way we did it for him, because he was the age to watch TV, again, we would talk to him, we tell him he's a bigger brother. So when his siblings came in and ate and did their routine, and then they go take a nap, then that was his cue to be with mommy or daddy to watch the TV together.
Wow.
So it was kind of a special time with like parent and me.
Did they
kind of
know?
thing.
Did everyone else ever see him watching TV and say like, why can't I watch TV too?
No, because we would do it, and it was only limited to like 30 minutes, you
Wow.
know. So they would be asleep, and they didn't notice it. Now the thing that we are lucky about was the younger 3. They were 15 months apart. So because they were so close in age, so it was like. The baby, she doesn't care for TV at all. So the 2 in the middle, since they were so close in age, again, we would allow the younger one to sleep, and then the other one, we just kind of did it by stages.
Right.
But yeah, and then we sit down and we have a dialogue about what they watched, and what did they get out of it, you know. And they would tell me, oh, you know, maybe this dinosaur was scary because, you know, he had his teeth out, and you know, and so it would have been, it was interesting to get their point of view, their feedback in what they actually saw. So it was everything when it comes to their whole involvement and their whole routine, everything was a learning. Everything is learning experience. So we had actually taken, this was in 2013. So at that time my oldest was 13. So we had 13, 10, 9, and 8. And during that time, of course, while we have bought TVs, cars that have TVs, but we hardly ever used it. We didn't, and we took a trip across the country, and the whole time we were just all talking.
Aww.
Even though we had games and we had, DVDs for them to use, we didn't use any of it at all.
Aww.
So, and it's always nice. So I always like to get their dialogue. What are they thinking about? What, they took pictures. Some of them even wrote, they were inspired to write poems and diaries about what they saw. So it's, I think if you allow your child to flourish and just really bring out that creative, the creative
That's
side.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's why like screens, I feel like we could go without. Yeah, I didn't watch TV until I came here. And that was when I was 11. So, and I think that's why I could go with or without. So yeah, because it's not a thing that other countries really do to sit in front.
It's not normalized.
No, not at all.
That's true.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, a lot of other places really are. The kids are super active.
Yes, they're out.
Even like living here in Costa Rica.
Yes.
If we spend the whole morning at the beach, and then that alone is like exhausting, and it wears them out, and it's like a great activity for the day. And by the time we get home,
it's like bath and dinner, read a book, and then TV is eliminated all around.
Right. So I definitely see a big difference with keeping the child active.
Yes.
And I love that you touched on, even as a parent that has responsibilities, scheduling things around
the
baby's
child.
nap time,
Yes.
and because they're the most important.
They are.
So I want to ask you. So I've seen children that are addicted to the screen, and I use the word addicted intentionally.
Yes.
And I've seen children like go crazy when the parent try to take the screen away.
Right.
So a child that's having tantrums.
Right.
When the mom or the father, whoever tries to take the screen away,
Right.
what do you do? Like, how do you ease the child out of that? And how do you respond when a child is having a tantrum?
Right.
Is it just you just talk to them and say the screen is not good for you? Or, like, how do you actually ease your
Into
way
that.
out of the tantrums and the screen?
Right. So there's I think our old saying, maybe it's in my country only, but it takes 7 days to break any habit.
Okay.
And so with that in mind, just like when you start potty training,
Mhm.
or when you want to break a cycle of something that was that is not needed or wanted anymore. I would suggest you start introducing, could just be talking like this over dinner maybe. You know what? We're gonna start reading, or we're gonna start talking more, and we're gonna limit it. We're gonna do it in small increments. So now, as opposed to just giving it to them the whole entire time, just to quiet them down, maybe we'll start with a half of that time. So gradually take them off,
Okay.
and then while you're doing that, you say, because you're getting bigger now, or they are older children, we're just going to come up with something that they could understand, and say, you know what, and you could share that, yes, looking at the screen is okay, but our body needs to move, it needs exercise, we need this. So we always have, instead of screen time, maybe you could do something like, okay, we're gonna watch one show, depending on the child. We could watch 30 minutes or 45 or an hour. But before we do that, we need to maybe do music and movement.
Okay.
So this way, now you are slowly switching that brain into just like, when it comes to dinner time, we're just gonna sit down with a tablet or something. So we're gonna go, okay, we're gonna have music and movement, do that activity first, and then say, okay, since we did that, we're gonna do this for whatever time that you desire. And then the next time, again, we come up with, oh, you know what, I had a good time. And usually when you do that, your heartbeat and your whole system just kind of boosts up, in your brain starts to get like, wow, and so next time you might do music and movement, a book, then 30 minutes until you could completely remove it 100%. Yeah, so this way, you get away from it, but it wasn't abrupt.
Right, no, not cold turkey.
Not cold turkey.
Okay.
Not cold turkey.
Okay, so just slowly but surely, just lessen the time.
Yes. And
But
then
always
eventually,
incorporate.
as they get bigger, like, you know what, we're gonna use that as a nice maybe reward or something like that. Because like my children, they had time to play video games, but it was only like on the weekend, and their hours were, each person was only allowed for an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, and they actually did take turns. So whoever that finished all their chores and things like that, then you have an hour, you got your timer on. And if you want to play with your sister or brother, then your times are together and that kind of thing. So everything in limitation.
Right.
Everything in limitation. Yeah.
And something that you've instilled in me too, routine.
It's routine.
So everything
Routine
in limitation,
is the
but
key.
routine.
It really
that's like
is.
been
It really
for me
is.
the thing.
Yes.
So if even for me, getting into a routine where we're active.
Yes.
And then it's like, all right, at this time.
Exactly.
But it's
but at the same time, if you're traveling and you just will not have that routine, all you need to do is prepare the child. Say, oh, you know what? Next week we are traveling to Germany. Guess what? So because Phoenix is younger, So now she already knows about the moon and the star.
Yeah.
Guess what? When we are going to Nana here in Germany, the sun went on the other side of the world, you know. So because then it prepares them like, wow, how could that be?
Yeah.
You know, we had talked about how the sun and the moon, they share the sky. So then it's like, oh, you know, so now you have created this whole exciting way of, we're going to be going to Germany, and they sleeping when we're awake, and you know,
I see what you mean.
And so routine is like just with sleep. That's when and we have routine, but then we have flexibility because routine. The whole thing about routine is taking out those main components: feed time, bath time, sleep time. Everything else could kind of be shifted around a little bit. But when the child has been fed, is clean, and know that they could go to sleep, oh yeah, you could do anything. You could do anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for your insight.
Oh, wonderful.
And everyone, if you are watching this video, you're maybe struggling with your child and trying to like ease your child out of screen time, or maybe you're like me and you just had a newborn and you don't want to even get into the habit of introducing your child to the screen. You might want to join Untitled Chapter's community and get that support.
Ask me any questions, guys. Ask me. Parenting children, it's just my favorite. My favorite topic.
And it's life changing. It's absolutely life changing. Like as a mom of
so
2
happy.
now, it's like I'm learning how to parent in a new way, in a new style. And I appreciate it so much because I see
You're welcome.
I see the benefit already. Like I see how it's impacting my children's feelings, for example. So again, this conversation was all about, you know, screen time. Like, can you actually raise a child without the screen? Yes or no?
That's right.
And the answer is yes, you most certainly can.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So my journey with Auntie JUBA has just been very amazing, and I'm honored to be a part of her community, and I hope all
likewise.
of you.
I want to be. Yes, I'm happy to be here.
Oh,
absolutely.
So everyone else watching, if this video resonates with you and you want to share it with someone else that you think might benefit, share it, please. Like and subscribe, and make sure you join Aunt JUBA's community. And let's connect, and let's parent, and let's really raise free, conscious, wise, intelligent children. Okay, so do you want to?
We're going to change the world. We're going to change the world. All the children.
I saw a quote, and the quote said that it was like, if you want to change the world, focus on your children.
Ah, that's so good. That's so good. That's so good. That's what. That's perfect. That will end the video that way. Yes.
Oh, yeah, that is a great way.
If we want to change the world, that's right. Focus on your children.
Focus on your children.
Yes.
And I when I read that, I was like,
that is the truth.
The future generation.
That's right. That's right. And children, they always love to please their parents. They do. So you already have that as a great way. You know, it's a great thing. You know, that is it's already within your whole program. They want to please you. So all you need to do is just tune in and talk to them.
Implement that good stuff.
Right.
Well, thank you for this conversation.
All right. Thank you for having me. Thank you, guys.
Of course. So make sure you like, share, subscribe. I will put all of Aunt JUBA's information in the description. So if you're ready to tap in and to connect with her, you only have to scroll down and look in the description, and everything about Aunt JUBA is there. I will say this one last thing. She has a training for doulas on June the 1st. In Costa Rica.
That's right.
It's a 10-day training. So
that's right.
Definitely look into that. But I'll post all her information below, okay?
That's
so
right.
For now, we'll see you until our next